one-on-one conversation. 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors to motivators, chefs, and even rappers to up-and-comers with the it factor. It's the Jazzie KWard coming at ya. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs. Tune in, chime in, sit back, relax. Have fun, some smiles, a few laughs.
Hey everyone, welcome to the show, Jazzie After Dark Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzie KWard. Hope you had a great weekend. Thank you so much for welcoming me into your homes, wherever you are across the world. You're in for another great show tonight, talking to international recording artist, Trumpeter, BYRD Jr. He's with us tonight. So go ahead right now and start sharing the videos, sharing the live, and sharing the love. Also, jump over to KWard Radio, my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe right over there. There's a little notification bell down there. Make sure you hit that twice. So when KWard Radio goes live, you're like, you know what, Jazzie is on. So go and check him out. Go back and watch the replays. Check out the videos with these amazing artists, which all have that it factor, as well as subscribing to my website, KWardRadio.com. So, Father's Day weekend is coming up. Don't y'all forget about it. Make sure you send me a gift, right, for Father's Day, right? I know, right? I see people coming in the room a lot. Also, not only Father's Day, this weekend, a lot of places are celebrating Juneteenth. Know your history. Do y'all know about Juneteenth? Know your history. As well as you need to know my next guest. He really doesn't need an introduction. When you hear the sound of the horn and when you hear this brother play, you'll understand why BYRD Jr. has that it factor. We're going to check him out right here on Artist Talk. Yeah, did y'all hear that? The music, the sound, music that heals your mind, your body, and your soul. So, y'all, tonight we're going to be talking with international recording artist Isaac BYRD Jr. And while you're doing that, I know you have another device. You know, I have 2 and 3 devices over here. Make sure you check out his website, isaacbyrdjrmusic.com. Wow. So also, anyone, if you have questions, comments, make sure you post them there. And I promise you, we'll do our best by answering those tonight. Okay. So without further ado, I think Isaac is here. I'm talking to producers and people back there. Is he here? So let's share a lot of love and let's bring him in and let's give him a warm welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Isaac BYRD Jr.
Hey, good evening. How are you?
I'm good, my brother. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful. It's been a fun-packed weekend, and I'm
I know.
telling you, so I have been on the go last few weeks. So yeah, I'm doing good.
Okay. Again, I want to say hello to everyone. Hey, is it the one and only my girl Costella? She's in California. She knows how to
Oh,
pod.
oh yeah. Hello.
We have recording artist Miss Tootie Malone that's hanging out with us tonight. How are you,
Uh-oh.
Tootie? Thank you so much for stopping by. We got the one and only Rose Lady Edmond. If you don't know the Jazz Lovers Corner, shame on you. Shame on you. And you got the Fashionetta. You got the one and only
Uh-huh.
Bling Bling. You got Henrietta Mitchell, Lady Hen. We have
Hey,
hanging out with us.
Castella, how are you?
Uh,
How's everybody doing tonight? Glad
yeah,
to be here.
glad to be here. So yeah, Henrietta, if you need some paparazzi jewelry, she is the lady to call. Make sure you check her out. So again, I was going to ask you, Isaac, in the background, do you have any wine back there? I need just a little bit of red wine.
You know what? My wine is it's actually in the fridge. I got some in the
It's in the
fridge,
fridge.
so
Okay.
I
And we
always
have,
have wine in my house. There's always wine in
oh,
my house.
you always need wine. And also, don't forget, I
Absolutely.
think, yeah, that's right. You always need wine. Wine is it's
Absolutely.
good for the blood. It's good for the blood.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we have my good friend, Mr. Michael Lyles. It's all about smooth jazz on the rocks. Make sure you check out
There
that
you
brother.
go.
And
Hey,
my bestie, the one and only, we got Miss Nicole Walden, B on a
there you
beat.
go. Everybody
Make
popping
sure,
in. I like it.
yeah. So again, thank you everyone so much for stopping by. And Isaac, again, my brother, thank you so much. I follow you a lot on IG, and I've been seeing you. I'm not good at that, but the golf club.
Golf. Absolutely.
Tell
Yeah,
us a little bit. Tell us about that.
me and golf are I have a we have a love it's a definitely a love relationship. So um golf is my favorite hobby at this point, and I find a lot of peace on the golf course. Golf is kind of twofold for me. I've been an athlete all my entire life, and then I've played a lot of high impact sports, football, and wrestling, and all these different things. And but golf is it's an interesting point. There's two things happening in golf. There's two men in golf. There's one being humbled, and one you know the golf game is the most humbling game you want to play. So
Okay.
two things that are happening. You're either being humbled or you're already humbled because it's a very tough game to play. People would think it's really simple to hit a ball off the ground, and it really isn't. So it's a fun
Okay.
game to play, and I love it. So
You love it. Okay.
yeah, so I do it. I'm always on the golf course almost every weekend. So
Okay.
yeah.
So we have a question for you. And Kenneth, my friend Kenneth beat me to it. He said, "Are you related to
Uh,
Donald Byrd?"
okay, so this is like the number one question Isaac is always. I'm always asked the question, and I don't know. Actually, I'm going to be running an ancestry thing because I don't know. My family is so huge that I really don't know that answer. I would love to find out.
Okay.
But I
So
take it as a high compliment though because Donald Byrd
yeah,
is an amazing trumpet player. He's really really good. So
right. I'm sure you're probably down the line somewhere. There probably is some,
it could be. I mean, if
family.
I'm a third cousin, second removed, I'm okay with it.
That's right. We also have my friend recording artist, Mr. Clarence Theodore Cow, CT.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much for stopping by. And so you're originally from Boston.
Originally from Baltimore. Hmm.
Baltimore. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Baltimore.
Baltimore, Maryland. Yep, I grew up there, and that is my hometown. Always will be a Charm City boy.
Okay. All right. So, I'm gonna start off with this, Isaac. Just some questions. I just want to ask you. Has nothing really to do with your profession
Uh
and
huh.
music. Just
Throw them at
nothing.
me.
I don't think nothing too challenging.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
Okay. What makes you strong?
I would have to definitely say my faith in God makes me strong.
Okay. What are some favorite qualities that you like about yourself?
Um, I would have to say my resilience is definitely one of my favorite qualities. Um, the being able to just continue to move forward. I'm a very forward thinker. I'm a visionary, and I'm always about future and moving forward. So being able to see what something is, the end from the beginning,
Right.
and that's one of the two favorite things about myself that I would definitely say.
Okay. I like that. Is
Yeah.
there anything that you wish you had done sooner?
Hmm. Anything I wish I would have done sooner? Uh, Honestly, now I would definitely say that when it comes to certain financial literacy, I wish I had known sooner than I know now. It's not that it's not a bad thing I know certain things now, but I wish I'd have known about 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. Right. But thank you so much. See, those weren't
Yeah.
hard questions, right?
No, no, not at all. Not at all.
No. For people to get to know Mr. Isaac
Yeah,
Bird just a little bit more.
absolutely.
And yeah, so make sure everyone you jump over, you see the website isaacbirdjrmusic.com. Support this brother. Go download some music, go purchase some music. It's all
Absolutely.
about it. That's right.
I
So
promise you,
Isaac,
you'll enjoy it all.
you will love all of this brother's music. I mean, a lot of featured artists on there. He works, with some other great artists as well.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this, Isaac. Why should Black people love and support jazz music?
Oh, that's a very easy question. I'm gonna sip my glass down, but it's all okay. So I'm a big, big man on history. Number
Okay.
one, jazz is not just the American art form, original American art form, but it is definitely from our culture.
Right.
And it is important that we know that all the spin-off of genres come out of the jazz genre, whether that be
Mm,
blues, R&B, hip hop, all of those things come from jazz. And if
right.
even, understanding how jazz plays a role even to today, you know, hip hop culture wouldn't be where it is without jazz.
That's right.
R&B would not be where it is without jazz. So
Mhm.
it is very, very important that we hold fast to the origins of our culture within the jazz realm and pay respect to it in our hearts, and also pass it down to the generations behind us because they will not understand how they got where we are now without that core understanding of not only just from the African, dissension, but even to New Orleans and how it came from the church and taking it to the streets and those street bands taking it to and having clubs, and then our music being not allowed anywhere, and this is the way we spoke through our music. This is the way our spirit that came from our ancestors and those that come before us, our forefathers. We spoke that through this music. Music is this art form is a art form that you just can't. It's something that you have to have in you. You can
Right.
learn it. I've gone to the higher education world and learned the theoretical things, but there's just something that's in your heart and that's in your soul that comes through when it comes to jazz, that you're born with it. and if you're until you're in touch with your um, what's the word I'm looking for? In touch with the culture of what we come from. Once you understand what that really means, you will pay homage to it. And if you don't respect it the way you should, we're gonna have a lot of issues, you know. So yeah.
You're absolutely right.
D
Hey, my friend,
Lucas,
hey, Lucas.
my man.
Thank you
That's
so
one
much.
hard working brother. Listen, D Lucas got some great music too, people. You gotta get him. Check out my
Yeah,
man,
yeah,
man. He's a hard working brother. I'm on all of the digital platforms, by the way. Kenneth, thank you for asking that question.
yeah. So y'all keep asking questions. Again, we're having a conversation tonight, up close and
Yeah.
personal, with international trumpeter, Mr. Isaac Byrd Jr. is hanging out with Jazzie KWard tonight. We're going to take a
Yeah.
short break, and we're going to continue the conversation. Right after this, you're watching Artist.
Hi, this is Jazzie KWard, your host for Saturday Jazz Affair on FM 90.7 WVAS. Join me for a new segment of Artist Talk. That's 10 a.m. Central Standard Time each Saturday on WVAS. We're going to talk to artists about their music, have great conversation, and much more. That's on Artist Talk on 90.7 FM WVAS. Of course, you can stream the show via WVASFM.org. I hope you can tune in.
Come on in. I've been waiting for you. I just can't get enough.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Artist Talk. I'm your host, Jazzie KWard. We're talking with recording artist Isaac Byrd Jr. And before we went to the commercial break, we were talking about, jazz and the Black culture and the history of jazz music. But Isaac, I want to ask you this question. You know, jazz being popularity as Black folk music. But if you noticed a lot of, I think later on in years, you see at, say, concerts, venues, or other, it's been highly populated for a Caucasian audience. Why do you think that?
Um, so there's a couple of ways I can look at that. Number one, there had there had been this argument at one point. I don't know if it's still even an argument that the derivatives or who created jazz. There was an argument about the French in that whole thing, and that was the thing. But I don't really kind of want to get there. But I would say it's always about media control, and the reality is that whomever we put in front of you is how that gets there. So
Mhm.
I believe that over time with just the way our culture has kind of shifted, I look back at those the great Harlem Renaissance and those kind of times, and you look back even at the Benny Goodmans of the world and that kind of thing, and kind
Mhm.
of driving down that and those kind of different spectrums of the jazz genre on different ends, Dixieland and all those things. The perspective on, but I think always drives me back to media. What's been
Right.
put in front of you then appears to seem okay. Well, our culture has been driven towards this kind of type of music,
Mhm.
therefore we're driven towards that. I think that's where I would see most of it. And then, of course, the just the exposure to it. I was
Right.
exposed very, very early on. a lot of people are not, a lot of our children are not exposed to it.
Right.
And because they're not exposed to it, they don't know or they're not even comfortable with it. They're like, oh, that's old people's music. No, I fell in love with jazz before I was even a teenager. And then when I
Right.
got to high school, it was like I was heavy in the fusion and all this other stuff. I mean, I was just, and by that point, I was hooked.
Right.
So
Wait, another question. I can remember that
another
growing up in a
question.
house. I grew up in a house of just a lot of music, and my mom and dad were big, old
Hmm.
school listeners. My
Yeah.
mom loved Lou Rawls. I heard Lou
Oh
Rawls and
yeah.
George Benson so much, I couldn't help but listen to them.
Now, what's
Growing
funny
up.
about that, I'm going to answer her question in a second. What's funny about the George Benson thing, my father is a guitar player. And
Uh-huh.
I knew Breezin' before I was ever 4 or 5 years old because that was his warm up song. Like, he
Right.
literally, when he pulled a guitar out, he always played Breezin'. So I
Mhm.
knew the entire song by the time I was 4 or 5 years old. So
That's right.
it's hilarious. So George Benson has been a big part of my life and stuff like that. So, but to answer Costello's question, trumpet would it be my first love? I don't know if I technically have a first love because my first two instruments was the drums and the
Okay.
trumpet. Those were the first two instruments my father gave me
Okay.
at the age of 4. So
Okay.
I can't say that I have one.
Okay.
So
Uh, I got
yeah.
another question. Nicole said, "What is your favorite song to perform?"
Hmm. You know what? That changes from time to time. I would have to say right now, I recorded on my last album, and it's highly requested. But I would have to say anytime, any place. Not Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, excuse me.
Okay.
I love that song, which is why I recorded it.
Okay. And Henrietta says, "Where can we hear you live in Duval?" I mean, she meant Jacksonville.
Well, she's in Jacksonville. That's Duval County, Duval. I know. So I haven't. Unfortunately, I don't do a lot of shows here in Jacksonville, and we started a jazz series that we were trying to bring some additional artists and some things like that. So be on the lookout again with the Infinite Bliss Jazz series, and we'll be getting. Hopefully, now that COVID is kind of changing, we'll be able to get back started, and that maybe you'll hear that. So. Um, yeah, so hopefully I will. I may be doing my Miles Davis tribute sometime soon, so be on the lookout for that at our local, one of our local jazz clubs. So,
Okay.
thank you
And
about the bar.
yeah, maybe we could get a mojito from Costello.
Listen, listen, I make mojitos. If you follow my Instagram, you would have saw my Cinco de Mayo margaritas uh,
Yeah.
pouring as I was making them on that day. So,
Yeah. So everyone it's on tonight, make sure you go over to Isaac's website, isaacbirdjrmusic.com, and check out his latest project, which is Come Fly With Me. It's an awesome
yeah.
project. And, for those who are new to your music and just discovering your music,
Hmm.
tell them how that project came about and who were some of your feature artists on
Okay, so that project really is just this funny story. I was in the mortgage business. I'm still in the mortgage and real estate business, and a friend of mine, Brian Maxwell, really good
it.
friend of mine back when I was a mortgage broker back in the day. He used to joke with me because he knew I was an artist, but he used to joke with me all the time. He's like, "Man, this you the bird man, come fly with me." Da, 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 da. And he used to joke with me all the time about it. And I said, "Man," I was like, he's like, "Man, that sounds like an album title or album cover or something." Like I said, "Man," I said, "Yeah, you're right." But like at the time, I was working on my first record, which was Beginnings, and
Right.
so it was like I was like, I'm gonna use that one day. I'm gonna use it one day. So, "Come Fly With Me" birthed out of a conversation probably a long time ago, or probably a good
Okay.
12 or 15 years ago. And then obviously where I'm at now in my world, or at the time when I was recording it, the whole theme kind of came together. And so I credit my buddy Brian Maxwell for the title, um,
Okay.
and then we just kind of built on it. And so that story of Come Fly With Me is just it's just a whole list of just kind of all the things that I mean, just all the emotions of things that I like. I love dancing, I love romance, and all those different things. And I just love good, healthy music that kind of heal people, stuff like that. Something you can put on. Riding is one of my favorite ones. Did really well on the radio, and it's one of those songs that you kind of, if you have a drop top and you can go down the or right on the coast, and you can just drive down with your top down. That's that,
Right.
ride down the highway. That was the reason of that song. It was just one of those
Right.
feel good songs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, remarkable, album. And again, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know Isaac Bird or you're just discovering who this brother is, shame on you. Shame on you for not knowing Isaac
Hold your hand
Bird.
out and smack it.
How your mom used to do. Shame on you. That's right.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. So we're gonna take a listen. I was actually my producer. I think I want to play a little bit of "Come Fly With Me."
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So we're gonna play that.
All right.
We'll check it out. Anytime, anytime.
Yeah.
All you need is your shades. And even if you buy yourself, just your shades, and you got the sunroof back, and you just look one way. People on the left of you, on the side of you, and you just cruising down the highway.
Absolutely. Listen, when I made that song, so if you go purchase, thank you, Nicole, for purchasing the album. And listen, anytime, any place, listen, if you're trying to set your mood for the evening, I'm trying to help any man that's trying to set the mood for your lady in the evening, whatever the situation is for anyone. That's my gift to you. That is my gift to you. Listen, I'm trying to tell you. I don't care if you're riding the car. It's set the mood. I'm trying to help you out. That's all I'm saying.
Right. You're trying to set the mood so when we get back to well, that's another show.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother, that's right. So when people listen to your music, Isaac, what do you want people to take away?
One, my attitude is always to tell a story. The core essence of jazz is improvisation. That's what jazz is. And where my roots of jazz is understanding, and like we're having a conversation tonight, that's what jazz is all about. So when I write a song, or even if I play a cover, it's always about, I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to invoke a conversation with you. And I want you to feel exactly what I'm trying to give through that. So that's what my whole thing about music is to give you the emotions that I have from that. I can see something out in the world and write about it. I can have whatever going on in my own personal life and write about it. And it may touch you in a different way, or it may, help your evening, whatever the case may be. I get inboxes on Instagram all the time, or text messages. Man, I heard you on, I heard your song came up on Music Choice and I put your album on in the evening. I got off work. I had a stressful day, and it just kind of mellowed me out, and I just felt so much, and I went to bed with it. That's all. That's my total intention, is just about giving back what I have, in music, and just giving those emotions.
Right. And I'm glad music is is healing, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what music, it's supposed to make you feel good. Sometimes it makes us
Yeah,
sad. It does all of that. But what does
absolutely.
music what does music heal you from?
Man, music heals me from a lot of things. My whole it, when I had nothing or no one else, music has always been there.
Yeah.
Um, you know, some would never really understand. I think we hear a lot about artists and the things that they go through
Mhm.
because of our creative minds and what we sometimes we're not able to convey all of the things that we want to do. But for me, music has always been there. Whether I was not the most popular, whether
Okay.
I wasn't accepted by a group of individuals that I may have felt like I wanted to be accepted by, or in general by people. Music's always been there. When I've had a tragedy or a loss or anything like that, music has always been there. And um, it's a real thing for me. Many of you, if you just follow me, I just lost my wife last year,
Yeah. So
and
sorry.
thank you. And I have a 9-month-old son right now, and I'm a full-time dad, 100% with a kid that looks it's crazy. He's so much like me, and but music, you know, I put on it, and it's already there. He's already, he almost taps on beat almost, and I put on different stuff for him. But music does that. Music has helped me, get there. I'm back to the point where I'm like, okay, I have the desire to write music again. I have so much to say and so much to convey, and
Mhm.
many people would never like. I contemplated like walking away from it all because of just how much anguish I dealt with emotionally,
Right.
But then it's like, I have to give a shout out to one of my good brothers, Mike Phillips, for staying in my. He's a mentor, big brother, and he stays on me. He'll call at the most odd times, and I'll stop anything to answer the phone for him, and he keeps me like he just always says the right thing. It's like he just has so much wisdom, and when I was ready to walk away from it, because it's like I felt like it was like, well, what else I have to give now? And then it was like, wait a minute,
Right.
it's there. It's just that
Mhm.
at the time I just didn't really. It's like I don't want to do anything. I got to focus on this. I got to do this, and so music is very very important, not just for the healing of us as a whole, but this is the way we connect with one another. This is the way we bring peace. Peace is so important, and
That's
that's
right.
what music is for me. It's so peaceful. There's so many things you can get out of music,
That's
and
true.
like I said, it's always been there for me. So
That's right.
I'm true to it that way. So I can't leave it.
That's right. Well, let me ask you this, Isaac.
Yeah,
What's your most consistent prayer?
my most consistent prayer, um, really is to be the best dad that I could be.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my most consistent prayer. Hey, don't screw this up. Like literally, it's like I just want to be like I just want to be a good man. Like whatever that means. Like be the man that God wants me to be. Like to my core, that's who I really what my most consistent prayer is. It's not
That's
about playing the right notes or putting up
mhm.
you know, making everybody think I'm a certain way. It's just like what you see is what you get. This is
What you see.
like you're in my house right now. This is what
Right.
This is what it is. This is me.
Right.
My son's with his grandparents, so yeah, that's why it's quiet right now. Because otherwise he'd be talking.
I got you. So, I know with your last project, can you share with us anything else that may be coming up that you're working on?
Sure. So last project I worked with a lot of people. Got the opportunity to work with Mr. Jamaica Funk himself and Tom Brown on the last
All right.
record, and that was fun because I was listening to him when I was a kid, and it's like now I'm standing in the studio next to him. Really great experience. David P. Stevens on there, Will Donato was on the record. It was a lot of people. So where I'm at now
Mhm.
is I was already in the process of doing this. I was already, and a lot of people, there's a lot of stages to albums. If you, for those that are watching that don't really know, like it's not like all of a sudden we just pop up with an album. It's like there's a lot of stages to it. So
Right.
I had already started this process probably about a year and a half or two ago, where I just
Mhm.
started like, okay, this is the mark I want to go down. So I'm kind of going to be doing two albums kind of simultaneously.
Okay.
Um, Still in a lot of planning stages, but I'm definitely getting back to a lot of my core essence of some things that I really want. Number one is I love funk music. I
Oh
grew up
wow.
on, hardcore, James Brown,
Right.
just gritty, just right in the pocket kind of funk. So I really have some
You
really
like
cool
George
stuff
Clinton?
that I'm
You like George Clinton?
George Clinton, all of them. You know, just I love that stuff growing up. So I'm really gonna be, um, you know, disco kind of all of those different things. Like I love that kind of sound. So I'm really diving back in that. I will give you a little sneak peek. Well, I am redoing Georgie Porgy. I'm doing
Oh,
a
oh
remake
wow.
of that song. It's and I try to do stuff that like nobody else does.
Right.
At least as far as trumpet players is concerned. Like I kind of have an ear for certain things, and I'm just like, hey, I really like that
Yeah.
song, so I'm gonna try to do this. So, but then the other side, my other side is I love R&B. I
Oh yeah.
love music, and so I have a whole other part of this. It's gonna be a love. I'm going down a train of love music from 90s R&B, do some covers, and I'm writing some new stuff. So it's gonna be really cool. It's gonna take some time, but I got some things that I'm gonna be pulling out that people don't know about
Okay.
me, and so I can't give you all you know, I
Okay.
can't give you all of it.
Well, let me ask you this, and this may be kind of challenging, but if you had to
Sure.
name who are like your top three favorite R&B artists?
Ooh. See see you starting stuff. You starting
So I
stuff.
know.
Man, that is really hard to do because I love old school artists and then I have some new school artists. So I'm
Well,
gonna try to
well, what
sum
about?
this up.
Well, let's just say this to nerd out. What about if you had to pick from like current artists today? Like
Okay.
who's like in your top?
So if I had to pick a current artist right now, her
Yeah.
would be one. Tank,
Yeah.
I love it. Her Tank. Those vocals are just. And then who else would I pick right now? Um, I would also, you know, I don't know if I really classify Fantasia as an R&B artist too, but those are like specifically her and Tank. They really drive home that feel for R&B, and they really just kind of. And I like Daniel Caesar too. Like I like his stuff too. So
Oh,
yeah,
right.
yeah,
I could definitely see you on like a rap or a hip hop artist, like Isaac Bird and somebody.
yeah. No, listen, and I would love to do that because like I okay, so a lot of people. So my two of my favorite artists, and I'm still kind of an old school cat. So Eric B and Rakim. Like
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I was die hard those two, and then LL Cool J was a big thing, and then I was a real huge Wu Tang fan. Like
Oh,
so,
most definitely.
I would love to do some. So it's like I would love to do some crazy stuff like that, like just
Okay.
kind of collab with some type of hip hop and stuff like that. I love that kind of stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Come on. He's
Yeah, come on,
Gerald
say
said
listen. Okay, all right, Gerald. Okay, I really was about to say Jasmine Sullivan too. I really was. I was like, and I was like, yeah, Jasmine Sullivan. You can't, I mean, you can't take anything. I mean, I love Brandy too. Like,
oh yeah.
but I don't know if they put her in the pop genre or not. I can't remember if they does how you put her. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's so many vocals. And then see if you were to take it back, I would like pick Gerald LeVert and
Oh, most
you
definitely.
know it's so many people. And then I love Ronald Isley. I mean, his
Oh,
voice is
most
still Charlie Wilson. It's so many people to pick from. It's like why do I have to have a favorite?
I know. Well, have you ever thought about this, Isaac? And I know. Well, Kenneth said, "What about Kim?"
Kim, I actually like Kim's voice. It's very unique. I don't know if I put him in my top 5, but
You're talking-
he's definitely in my top 10 or 20. I would definitely put him up there. I like his writing is where I would his writing definitely puts him up there with the way he writes songs.
Yeah. What about you? I could definitely say like you. And what about Lettuce?
Lettucey?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I love Lettucey. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whew. And
Yeah.
and she has Lettucey has a real rooted space in jazz.
Yeah. Most definitely.
Vocally,
Most
yeah. I've seen with when she was here at the Jacksonville Jazz Festival, she was
Mhm.
like, whew. She went back and she did Autumn Leaves, and I was like, oh my
Oh,
God. I wasn't ready because I didn't know she did it like that. And I was like, okay, I've heard this stuff on the radio.
right.
And I fell in love with her right then.
Right. She's amazing. Hey, my
Yeah, she's
friend Al.
amazing.
And Alice said, "What about Uncle Charlie?"
I said Uncle Charlie. Charlie
Oh, did you?
Wilson, yeah. I
Man.
did, yeah. Uncle Charlie, get it.
And
You can see
Nicole
on the
said, "What about
Jay-Z track.
Jay-Z?"
Listen, Show Me What You Got is one of my favorite songs. I love playing that song. Yeah. So,
Look at
yeah.
that song. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. That's good. So Isaac, I know. I'm sorry, I'm not going to keep you much longer, but I know you've been keeping. Have you been keeping up with the verses with the different artists?
I've been in and out of it because my son takes up a lot, so it's like I don't catch a lot of stuff, but then I catch stuff and it's like, but I do know like, okay, well this person's next to this person, and I'm like, ooh, wonder if they're gonna do this or this, and it's always funny like some of the verses they do. So yeah, I've kept up with a few of them.
All right. So let me ask you this. So I know what verses is all about, but just hypothetically speaking, if
Oh
Isaac
boy,
Bird was offered to do a verses,
oh
who would you
boy,
want to do it
huh? If I were to do a versus, who would I want to do it with?
with?
Hmm,
You ever thought about
that's
that?
a that's an interesting question. Man, see, the question would be like, really, like, would I want to do it with a trumpet player?
Right.
Because it's like, because verses is all like vocals, because they're all in the same genre or whatever. So I
Well,
guess
what
I
about
would have to.
you and Lynn Roundtree?
I was just about to say that. I was like, I had to pick my boy Lynn. That
I
would be
could
fun
definitely see.
and funny at the same time because Lynn and I are really, yeah. That would be a fun. That'd be way too fun.
Yeah, that would
That would be
definitely
cool.
be.
He's got more
And
hits than me.
well, that's okay. And I understand the meaning of verses. I understand people have more hits, but you can also
Yeah,
play other people's music. Just to show
absolutely.
your artistry. That's what I think
Yeah,
about it.
absolutely.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with international recording artist, trumpeter, Mr. Isaac Bird Jr. What's up, my friend, Mr. David?
David, man, David Jones. I haven't seen you in so long, man. Good to see you. Thank you for joining in.
Yeah, David is an
A
amazing
fellow trumpet player.
fellow trumpet player. Let the
Yep.
players play. I
Let
play
the
that all
players
the time.
play.
Let the players play. So, Isaac, I know you've been in this business for quite some time, and the ups and downs of the music business, and a young woman, a young female, young male watching the show. I don't know if we lost Isaac. I think he's there. So we're gonna keep hanging out, y'all. I think he kind of disappeared a little bit. Maybe some technical difficulties. welcome back, Isaac.
Okay. I don't know what happened.
That's okay. Hey, technology, things happen, right?
Yeah. I think I had a phone call trying to come in. I'm like, really? It's always at the wrong time.
Yeah. And I forgot something. I don't know if I didn't go, but my producer said a $5 fine. So as I meant that, last year was a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
With us with this pandemic. So, how did you, navigate through that entire process, Glenn?
You know, for the most part, it's very interesting because it was like, okay, well, we are, pretty active out on the road and stuff like that. And then it was like, no. It was like, all right, go home, just stay home, kind of chill out. And but I think for me, I actually enjoyed it a little bit because I kind of like it's cool like being busy and traveling and doing those things, but sometimes that can be a little taxing. And I'm getting older and I'm learning how age starts to change little things about you. So but last year was a very challenging year for me. A good portion of the year was enjoying about to have a kid, and then not expecting my wife to leave. So that kind of all not expecting her to die and pass away was a kind of a challenge. So last year was definitely very, very different. We started off on a very, very high. Like, it's funny, last night was the first time I hit the stage in like 15 months, like out in a public setting, and it was great. It was for Omega Hope Foundation here in Jacksonville, Florida, for the Brothers of Omega Phi Psi. And it was really, really cool to do that event. But it was kind of like a bittersweet thing because it was like, man, I remember the last day or the last real huge event that I had here, or just I did, was my Valentine's show. It was I had Markwell Jordan come here, and then also David P. Stevens was on the show, and it was a really good Valentine's show, and that was great. And that was also the night I found out my wife was pregnant at the time. So it was like that was the last time I was on stage. So coming and doing it again, and then like I said, 2020 just had a lot going on. Everybody experienced something with that, and but overall, I learned a lot about myself in 2022. Definitely learned a lot about myself.
Kenneth said, I think your song is going to get airplay on WVAS Drive at 5.
Well, thank you, Kenneth. I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, can you share with anybody, do you have any concerts, events, festivals that you're planning? Okay.
Absolutely. So, matter of fact, I was like, I don't know if anyone can see this.
Oh. Okay. That's right.
But on August 15th at Chesapeake Park in Chesapeake, Virginia, myself, there will also be Howard Hewitt, Sherelle, Miss Monica Drummer will be there, Sam Rucker, and Quincy Carr, the comedian, will all be there.
Adams, right? Marcus.
Yeah. And who else is on that show?
And Shan Hall is there.
Shan Hall. Yeah, so it's going to be a really good event. So go get your tickets now because it's going to be great. It's going to be Jazz in the Park or Jazz on the Lawn. So it's going to be outside, nice event. It's going to be on a Sunday. You're not going to miss it. I mean, Howard Hewitt and Sherelle in the same. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be fangirl. Like, it's like all these people don't realize, I guess, when you're an artist, it's like, okay, I was listening to these people when I was like little. And it's like, okay, now I'm like standing on the side of the stage or backstage, and I'm like, I was listening to you. I remember I met Regina Bell a couple of years ago at Jazz Legacy, and I'm standing off in the wing, and and I was like, this, and I felt like a little kid. It was like, this Regina Bell, I remember listening to your single when I was on the.
I think if I met her, I'll be like, Regina Bell, make it like it was. Come
Listen,
talk to me.
and she's so, it was like stuff like that. It was like, and then my favorite song from her was like "Baby Come to Me." I don't know.
Right.
It was one of, and I was like, man, and I got to see her face. She was the sweetest lady ever. It was just like, I remember meeting Nancy Wilson back in college when I was at I was in Toronto. We were on this big international jazz conference, and I was playing with a big band there. And Nancy Wilson was there, and she performed before us or after us, I think. And afterwards, we all stayed in like pretty much the same hotel, and I'll never forget this experience because this is when these children will never understand the 33 millimeter camera and how if you mess up and open the camera, you will mess up your film and the exposure, and everything is done. And I got a chance to sit down and have a drink with Miss Nancy Wilson, and also Nina Freeland, also vocalist, that night in the lobby of our hotel. And I got pictures with them, and I lost them because on the way back, the camera opened in my luggage.
Yeah.
But I remember a lot of great stuff from that experience. So yeah, absolutely.
Hey, what's up, Mr. Richard Randolph?
Richie! What's up, man?
What's up, my brother? And Alice said, will they bring back the Jacksonville Jazz Fest Memorial Day next year?
No. So the Jacksonville Jazz Festival is going to go back to its original time in the fall. So it'll be it's going to be this fall. So it's going to go back to the fall time. It was during the Memorial Day weekend for quite some time. But yeah. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you for coming out tonight and hanging with us. So but yeah, the Jacksonville Jazz Festival has decided to go back to more of its roots of, kind of in the fall time. The Memorial Day weekends kind of, I guess, ran its course with them.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Hey, my final question for you, Isaac,
Sure.
Someone watching this video that wants to follow in your footsteps or in your path, what's the best advice you can give someone about this business? Or just in life in general?
Well, number one, be true to who you are. Don't shy away from that because that's what the people like. I think a lot of us make mistakes of trying to do always what the industry wants versus doing what giving the people what they want. So number one, being true to yourself and authentically yourself. Number two, if you desire to do this and make a career out of it, understand that there are going to be tough times. You're going to want to quit. However, what keeps you going is just the music itself or just your passion for it. And getting that message from, a fan, or for me, I call the fans or my fans family, getting that message on, hey, I put this song on and it helped me. It made me feel something. Those are the things that do it. So if you're going to do it, and the last thing, which is also still like a number one thing for me, be as crafty as you can be to the core of your instrument or whatever you're doing. Like, be so skillful, and be so unique that no one can stop you.
That's right. That's right.
That's the only way to look at it. Like, I don't try to be like any other trumpet player. Have I been influenced by plenty of them? Absolutely. Yeah. But I am Isaac BYRD Jr., and that's what I want to convey.
That's right. I tell you, definitely. Isaac BYRD Jr. This brother has that it factor, y'all. I told you. Check this brother out. Hello, my beautiful friend, Miss Candace Woodson.
Candace, thank you for joining.
And again, yeah, and congratulations, Candace, for your #1 song on the charts.
Ooh, yeah. #1.
Yeah. Candace made
that's
#1.
awesome.
I'm so excited. Oh, that's right. My brother, Isaac, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Tell people how they can go pick up Come Fly With Me. And also, is it available for you to sign copies?
Yes. So Come Fly With Me is available for me to sign copies. If you, I believe there's a store on my website. If it is not, we'll be redoing some things. There's a lot of, everybody's redoing a lot of things. I've had some new stuff happen with some servicing on my site. So if the store is not active, that's no problem. Hit us up on Instagram in my inbox, and we can make sure that it happens, and we'll there. But I'm available on all music platforms, so you can purchase me on Amazon, the Google Play Store, Apple Music, all that stuff. I'm on all of those different platforms. Spotify, you can whatever floats your boat, however you want to do it. As long as you're listening, I'm here for you.
Hey, Blackpreneur, what's up, my friend, Mr. Joel?
What's up, now?
Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, my brother, this has been an amazing conversation again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Come back on Artist Talk anytime you want to tell us about projects, anything you're working on. Come back.
I definitely will come back. I thank you for having me, and thank everyone that joined tonight. I appreciate all your questions, and thank you for your condolences and prayers. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, my brother. Anything I can do to support you and your music, I'm in your corner. And stick around for a little bit. And Alice also said, well, hit Montgomery sometime.
I promise you. Listen, I was telling, I said, hey, listen. I was telling a man before the show, listen, I love Alabama. Okay, so I performed at the Perfect Note several times. I've done Jazz in the Park. So listen, I'm telling you, I love Alabama. All of you in Alabama, I don't know. Alabama has a special place in my heart. So whoever you need to talk to, we can get my management. I promise you, if there's somewhere I can come to Alabama in Montgomery or anywhere, I will come there. I promise you, we'll do it. I'll come.
Hey, Gia. Thank you
Gia.
so much. Hey, Gia, for stopping by. But hey, my brother, stick around for me for just about 1 minute, okay?
Sure.
Okay. Wow, guys. Well, another great show talking to international recording artist and trumpeter Isaac BYRD Jr. Don't forget to check out his website. Go purchase his latest release, Come Fly With Me. Another great show. But don't forget to check out my YouTube channel. It's KWard Radio. Make sure you subscribe to that site. Also, my website, KWardRadio.com. Real simple. Any artist that would like to be featured on the show, you can mail me your music. You can email me your music. All that information is notated right there. If you would like to support any monetary gifts to the show, that PayPal, Cash App is also posted. And don't forget to join me each and every Saturday for a Saturday Jazz Affair in WVAS. We broadcast live on the campus of Alabama State University. And again, that's WVASFM.org. Again, thank you so much for welcoming me in your homes, wherever you are across the world. Your support of Artist Talk as well. Join me back here on Thursday night for another special guest. Hope you have a blessed evening. Remember, make sure you take care of yourself and be kind to others.
A live one-on-one conversation, 30 minutes of pure entertainment with musicians, writers, and actors, to motivators, chefs, and even rappers, to up-and-comings with the it factor. It's the Jazzie KWard coming at ya.